Hi Taurus, this is your June 2023 reading. Before I pull a tarot spread to get into what lies ahead for you for the month of June, I really think we should start by saying that this is your year. You know that, right? Jupiter, planet of growth, expansion and abundance, moved into your sign during Taurus season in May just past, and he's going to stay there, really just upping the ante and making dreams come true for you all the way until next year in May 2024. Not only that, June is actually starting with the North Node of Destiny, which amplifies and extends its light towards where you're going on your destined path in this lifetime, meets up with Jupiter in your sign of Taurus. I mean, what more do you want? June is off to an incredibly abundant start for you, Taurus. So before I pull a tarot card spread, let's start this reading off with an archetype card just to set the tone for how June is going to be looking for you and perhaps what else has been going on. What's more, we've just had a new moon in Taurus on the 19th of May, and this is just going to be laying the foundation of new beginnings for you and a brand new way of living and just embodied readiness to receive all the abundance that's coming your way. It's really main character energy for Taurus. The womb, well, this is a very Empress-like card to me. I'm going to just read you about this card from the Oracle Guide and the Archetype Guide. The womb is, right to me, it's the starting off point, isn't it? It's the incubation part. It's where things are beginning to grow. Okay, the nest, the belly, the origin. So the origin of your story is just beginning for some of you, Taurus. And this doesn't have to be a dramatic, complete change in your whole life's trajectory. It could be one area of life that is just about to be born, really. So this actually asks you to consider that Mother Earth, and you are the Earth sign, the first manifestation of Earth in the zodiac, Taurus. But if you could consider that Mother Earth must also have a mother, for this month I want you to imagine her. Imagine that mother. So this says that everything has an origin story. The womb archetype asks us to contemplate the beginning beyond the beginning, the mother beyond the mother. In a world that often negates the power and necessity of the feminine principles, this card returns to the warmth, tenderness, and sacred intelligence from which we came. It is a card of receiving, not achieving, of accepting love from the mother of all of us. She is the life-giving force that forgives and cherishes even the most wounded and disparate soul. No matter how lost you are, the womb awaits your return to help you heal and to grow. This card is a call to keep things simple. Taurus knows how to do that. And to return to be reborn in the name of love. The womb is everywhere. It is beyond gender, beyond time. We are within it and it is within us. So in the lightest element of the womb, we're seeing nourishment, harmony, warmth, and love. When we fall perhaps into the shadow elements, it can be stricken or imbalance even. All right, so this is really interesting. I'm excited to get into your reading. What a beautiful archetype for the month of June. Let's go on now and pull our tarot cards. For this, I think we should look at the spread together. The Five of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles. So a major arcana card as the first card that comes out, which is just indicating your soul growth for the month ahead really clearly to me. Ace of Pentacles with opportunities. King of Pentacles, that's the abundance signature we're looking for. We also have the Tethered one. We see this come through as the Hanged Man at times. The Moon card, Nine of Cups, the Five of Swords, and the Lovers in reverse. Wow, very interesting spread to get into, Taurus. Okay, I just want to pull a couple more cards to flesh this out a little bit. The womb, just another note on the womb. Two things really. For those of you who are looking to conceive, this is a really beautiful card for fertility. This is also a really good card to symbolize the story or narrative shifting around the relationship with your mother, perhaps, in a more positive way overall. I also see the womb card suggesting completely loving yourself and stepping into your divine feminine energy in a way of just truly loving yourself. In the most positive aspect of the womb, we already love what exists in there before even knowing them fully, if that makes sense. So it's a call to truly love yourself this month. I'm going to just take another card here. We've got Articus, which is a fixed star. I want to talk about that too and lead us a little further into your reading. And I'm going to just pull a few symbols from this deck, which can really just open up and expand things that you should be paying attention to this month. We have mountain, we have greed and generosity, and we have the Renaissance. So excited to get into these cards, Taurus. The first one out, and a major arcana no less, the Hermit card. So part of your soul's journey in June is going to be figuring out what lies ahead for you. The question you may be asking yourself right now is, what's next? This card is deeply introspective, and it is the call to go within to figure out what you truly want. And you've already had a lot of success recently in terms of material abundance. This is the card for Taurus. We saw that King of Pentacles coming out in the recent past. Not only have we just had Taurus season, we've also had eclipses on the Taurus-Scorpio axis. They are winding down now with the final set of those eclipses happening in October of this year. But coming out of Taurus season, I really truly feel like you've had your birthday, you feel embodied, you feel abundant, and you feel really sure about who you are. So then what lies ahead for you, Taurus, is navigating a more spiritual side of yourself, I think. I think you've got the finances, the resources, the strong sense of self, even the physical body being refined and purified, and that's all down packed. Now it seems to be elevating yourself in a more spiritual way. That doesn't mean that you have to forsake all the pleasure and earthly delights that are available to you as a human being. We're talking about both of those being encapsulated in your life, the earthly delights and the more lofty sort of spiritual values being incorporated for you, and how quickly manifestation happens when you are in alignment like that. Yeah, I told you it's going to be your year. The Nine of Pentacles, the card that suggests what's on your mind right now is that abundance, and a lot of it, okay? This is good. So the Hermit card, first of all, how interesting that we got the Mountain and the Hermit, and we've got mountains in the background here. And the first kind of archetype card that came through from that deck was the Mountain, right? So this speaks to a couple of things. It speaks to perhaps you taking a step back from action this month and going to return to that kind of cave that exists within our consciousness that can be revisited and visited at any time in our life. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to go without the comforts of your friends, your family, the things that bring you pleasure and delight you. It just calls you to take a little time for yourself to figure out what's happening next. Retreat to that metaphorical mountain of inner peace and stillness so that the answers can just come to you intuitively. And it's okay to take this time out when you need to, because you have set yourself up. The universe has provided for you a really secure and stable backdrop, or a springboard, or a foundation for you in which it has basically held you like the womb to allow you to go forward by going inwards first. So basically, how do I say that in a more simple way? it's already been provided for you, the security and the foundation for you to springboard from this safe place. It's not going anywhere. You can take chances. You can even retreat. You can even do something on your own, a solo trip. You may be thinking about taking a solo trip sometime soon. The mountain speaks to wisdom, it speaks to enlightenment, it speaks to temporarily pausing, taking time out to figure out what you truly want. Now, in saying that, the Hermit card was crossed with the Five of Wands, very spicy, very combative. Look, as you can see, it's combustible energy. So when we take time out, sometimes people can get a little bit, demanding, or they can get triggered. And what are you trying to tell me, Taurus? You're not here for me. You're not here to support me. You're one of the most loyal and steadfast archetypes of the zodiac. So sometimes people can get a little crazy when you decide to put yourself first and foremost look after yourself. So that's when some reactivity could come through. So you'll know that you're on the aligned path, Taurus, when people start to get a little bit shirty around you and even a little bit temperamental or frustrated. Then you'll know that you're doing something right. When you're in true alignment, which the Hermit card tells me that you are really, this is your calling this month, to get into alignment even more so. I mean, all the job opportunities that have been coming up for you, the financial breakthroughs and the luxury and the pleasure, that's all just a sort of proof for you that you are in alignment. But as you further grow on the spiritual path, which the Hermit is what that's all about, you're going to notice that people this month are kind of hating on you in a sense. I'm sorry to say it, but you're obviously doing something right. The more you're in alignment and the more authentic you are, that scares narcissists, right? People who don't value you truly for who you are, because they can see that you are stepping in to further and greater alignment and an even stronger sense of self. That sense of self, King of Pentacles in the recent past, the Taurus energy, pure abundance, of course, but this is also that knowing who you are. That's going to trigger people, all right? And the more you step into the path that's meant to be for you and what lies ahead for you, the more you activate that, yes, you're going to see reactions. Like it or not, take it as like props to you, basically, that you're on the money. Speaking of money, that's a really big signature for this reading. I'm going to tell you that. And interestingly enough, greed and generosity came through. So to me, it seems like you're in a really secure place this month, and you have actually been in a secure place. If you don't necessarily agree with that, take it or leave it, take what resonates, leave the rest, all good. But perhaps you could count more blessings than you maybe are aware of, or perhaps there actually have been more possibilities for abundance, right? The Ace of Pentacles in your subconscious, this little seed has been planted, and I know it doesn't look like a lot yet, but that soil is fertile, the weather is perfect, all the love is going towards it. That's that womb energy again, isn't it? It's just like the beginning origin of what's next to come for you. I take the Ace of Pentacles as you having been offered more money recently, as having more opportunities come your way, new job possibilities, new avenues for you to make resources happen for you. To see an ace in the reading this month and the Ace of Pentacles, I love it. It speaks to all of these opportunities continuing for you all month, and it's in your subconscious now, so there is no fear in that part of your life, in the subconscious part of your psyche. So when we are, well, let's tap into the subconscious for a second. What's there? The Ace of Pentacles. Your subconscious knows that there are an infinite amount of possibilities for you. There's an infinite amount of pathways you can explore, navigate. Job opportunities, they flood in. There's never a shortage of them. And this would be trying to comfort you by saying that, you know what, Taurus, enough lived experience of yours now at this point should teach you that the universe will always provide for you. Even when we're down on our luck, this would suggest to me, Taurus, that there's always been rice in your bowl. And the greed and generosity signature. Do you ever notice that greedy people can also be the ones with the most resources? And when people are generous, that can often come from a compassionate part of somebody on their soul journey who may not have so much. It's like those people who would give you the shirt off their back, and maybe that would be the last $5 in their pocket that they're giving you, because there's a relatability. And greediness can look like hoarding, right? So we want to be careful of that energy this month to attract even more abundance, which I mean, what's your secret? No, really, what's your secret? And to attract even more of that abundance, then you're just going to be like tapping into that gratitude mindset and remembering what you put out to the world comes back to you threefold. Believe it or not, really, believe it or not, that's okay, but practice it and see what happens when you give a gift. See what happens. See what happens to your spirit, the lightness in your heart, and see what actually happens on the material realm. And thank me later. But I think you already know this, Taurus. I'm really excited myself. I'm a Taurus moon, a 0-degree Taurus moon. It's one of my favorite placements, and Jupiter is hitting my Taurus moon right now. Yes, it's being squared by Pluto. You know, I can't discount that, but I'm already feeling a lot of abundance in terms of like, you know, emotional abundance too. You know, material abundance is coming through, you know, and I really am hoping the same is going on for you. Taurus placements, moon, sun, rising, Venus, whatever is up for you. Remember that Jupiter has a year to get through that sign, right? So for me, I have the 0-degree Taurus moon. So as the minute Jupiter entered Taurus, that was on my moon. So that's where I'm experiencing that direct hit, but that's going to wane for me as the transit goes on. But just bearing in mind, depending on where your Taurus placements are by degree, give it time for Jupiter to catch up there and bring its blessings towards you, okay? So if you're interested in more of the astrology, just I'll leave my website in the description box. And as well as that, in the description box, I've got a love and relationship reading that's exclusive on my Patreon. I think that's where we're going to be talking about the lovers in reverse coming through. And I'll leave that there too if you want to check it out. So stepping into gratitude and being generous. I think that generosity is just going to increase your wealth overall, and love that. I mean, Ace of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. Mind on your money, money on your mind, and it's expanding. This is going to be a very wealthy month for you, I think, and wealth can come up in so many different ways, right? I'm talking about emotional abundance that I'm experiencing, self-worth, self-love, health. Your health is your wealth. Let's talk about health for just a moment. The King of Pentacles, recent past, you have been becoming more sturdy, more strong, more embodied, and health overall could be something that you've found has been improving. So cheers to that. Interestingly enough, my fixed star, Arcturus. So you're going to find this fixed star at 24 degrees of the constellation of Libra. Check out what's around that in your birth chart. My 25 degrees Libra rising is there actually. So let me think about what's going on, just if I can tie it together somehow. Relationships could come up, how you relate to others, and June might be a time actually, Taurus, where you're taking some time on your own. I guess I see that coming through with the Hermit card a little bit, that kind of withdrawal. We'll talk about relationships in a minute. The health signature is important with this card too, because this was actually a healing energy, and Arcturus is a fixed star that represents medicinal healing, and it particularly talks about the blood and the health of the blood. So this could be a really good omen for anybody who's planning a surgery or recovering for a surgery. Also, you know, we're talking about the womb here. Well, whether or not you're a man or a woman, women are going to be experiencing sometimes, you know, heavier menses than other times, and this is a really good omen for any women out there that have been experiencing like heavier than usual blood flow. This is just it's quite a healing energy to come through there as well. So overall, this speaks to health improving. I really see this overall as like positive developments around your health, but also kind of like planning and organizing can come up with this card as well. So maybe just with your health, particularly taking things one step at a time, doing things one step at a time and not rushing through anything health related. Also, you know, we think of blood pressure, blood health. I'm no medical expert here, but maybe if this applies to you, it might be good to research some foods that support good blood flow and blood health overall, because that seems to be where there are positive developments happening overall. Again, around the womb space especially, I'm getting a call to speak about the blood flow there. This could be a good indicator for improvements around that sector of your life recently. So take that as validation and trust, I guess. That's going to be really positive for you overall. In terms of love and relationships, yes, the Lovers card in reverse. I kind of sense that if there's a relationship that's been on the rocks, and this is not going to be speaking to somebody who's in a thriving, happy and positive divine union this month, take what resonates, leave the rest. But this Lovers card in reverse, with the reversal, we have to look at the possibility of some sort of a separation or disharmony this month. So if you feel like that could be speaking to you, again, I'll leave that love and relationship reading underneath in the description box. But furthermore, I think that there is even just a call for greater independence. This does not necessarily have to mean that there's a breakup on the horizon when we see the Lovers in reverse, because I have the Hermit card, which is a paramount importance to figure out what you want, Taurus. What do you want? What makes you happy? You do everything for everybody else, it seems. That's what I'm picking up on from this energy. And to me, I just think it's just really important for you to get to know yourself even more. And if that means having to put yourself first in a relationship for now and you know, utilizing some of that enlightened selfishness, well, so be it. This could be the call to do that. And if your relationship is going good and you guys are strong, well, this could just be a indicator that maybe greater independence could be needed in the relationship at this time. Both of you having to honor your independent, unique soul journeys is just as important as when you come together and compromise and support each other and merge with each other. It's a little less about merging this month, and it's a little more to me about, you know, just carving out some independence. What do you want? Putting yourself first. The Nine of Pentacles, that doesn't mean you have to forsake pleasure. You can still enjoy yourself. You can still enjoy each other. This is a very sensual card. If you're single and not necessarily looking for love, you can invoke and deserve to have pleasure in your life. That is just a divine birthright. I don't think I need to tell Taurus that either, am I right? Well, if you are single and looking, this could be a really nice indication just to get to know somebody on a more sensual level and figure out what you like and what you don't like, okay? Let's go a little bit further on. So what have we covered? Money so far seems to be the big one. And the North Node and Jupiter at the beginning of June fused together in a conjunction. This is a very rare alignment, actually. So it's big, and it's going to be bringing a lot of abundance into the Taurus part of your chart. Again, if you don't know where the Taurus part of your birth chart is, I do offer astrology natal chart readings where we could look at where these abundant themes are coming through, and obviously so much more. But it's really easy to figure that out. Just pull up your birth chart online, see what area, aka what house, Taurus governs in your birth chart. That's the area of life that this abundance is coming through for you at the beginning of June. And I think that you've just been doing so great. You've been healthy, you've been strong, your physical body's improving, health is improving, money is improving, and you've got that like money motivation now. And that's not to make you sound like this greedy old man here counting all their, you know, their hoard of wealth. I don't see you like that, actually. I see you as stepping into more of a spiritual path anyway, less materialistic, but being materialistic, or, you know, we don't want to be overly materialistic, that goes without saying, but it's not a not spiritual thing to want to provide your soul, your subconscious mind, your body, the safety and security to springboard and just ascend even higher on your spiritual path without the worry of, you know, is there going to be rice in my bowl overall? But I think you know that there will be. So we've talked about that, giving more than you're receiving in terms of Your energy can be a good thing, as long as you'll know where, if you're too tired with that or not. Like, I do see a call to go within, but maybe charity could come up a little more for you. Maybe volunteering could come up for you this month, and giving some of your energy to the less fortunate in the world. It could be super rewarding. I'm sure it is rewarding when we do those things, but you could notice it even kind of being rewarding to you in more than just your spiritual life. You could actually find yourself partnering up with people who want to invest in you, who want to offer you new job opportunities, and just who want to kind of like fill your cup, or throw that all back at you in a sense. Okay, let's move on as we progress through the month of June and get like a little, I guess we're talking like halfway through the month of June, or just another experience that you seem to be having this month is a massive change in perspective. Another major arcana card is the Tethered One, aka the Hanged Man. So at its essence, this is a brand new change of perspective. This person is basically having an astral projection, right? So this person is here in their physical body. They've got that kind of cord holding them to their subconscious body or to their light body. So you're staying connected, subconscious and conscious mind, but you are allowing yourself to see beyond the veil this month. You're going to be having a major perspective shift. Something could come through to you this month, Taurus, and you could be saying to yourself, I never even believed that I would accept that or see that as possible, because it could be way out of your world, way out of your usual way of thinking. And it's an incredible thing because it's showing you basically being reborn. And what is a renaissance if not a rebirth of a genre, of an era? And this speaks to education, it speaks to enlightenment, it speaks to like the golden years after the dark ages. There is a rebirth in society. Get yourself to a museum, get yourself to something that is from another culture, something that's rich in culture. Get to know your heritage, your ancestry, where you came from. I bet it's just so soaked in culture, and that's why it's coming up this month. So the rebirth, the womb, the origin story, you are perhaps learning where you came from, and I mean that in a kind of genealogical way. I also mean that in like your spiritual, where did your soul come from, the origin of your soul, what is your true essence. Like, you're really getting to know yourself. I'm low-key jealous of the experiences you're stepping into this month. I want them. They sound so divine. And I just think the rebirth, the renaissance, art, culture, again, pleasure coming up, the womb, the Nine of Pentacles. These are the finer things in life. That's what the Renaissance was. People could afford, of course, not everybody. I don't think I need to caveat those things, but in our interpretation of the Renaissance, like I see people here, we've got, the Vitruvian Man being depicted here. We've got scrolls, we've got people in their kind of, their garments adorned purple, the color of royalty, purple in the luxurious Nine of Pentacles. It's just speaking to culture and higher mindedness and refinement. So again, that doesn't make you not a spiritual person. That makes you a human being that is capable of enjoying a whole host of things this month and beyond this month. But spirituality, I will bring it back to that. The Hermit card, the Mountain, the Tethered One, or the Hanged Man. This is about a spiritual awakening, and this spiritual awakening actually happens when you go within to that cave of consciousness that exists within all of us. We can step into that cave of consciousness when we're walking down a busy street. If we know how to call in all of our energy to ourselves, then nothing else is going to get in there. We're going to just be very still and spacious within ourselves. But of course, it might be nice for you to actually go to a cavernous area, go to a mountainous area if that's possible. Wherever you find stillness and spaciousness, whatever that looks like geographically, it could even be in a room in your house. It doesn't have to be outside. That's when the spiritual breakthroughs come to you, and trust in that. You're in for I wouldn't say a rude awakening. I'd say you're in for who's in for a rude awakening this month, Taurus, is the people around you that are getting all fired up and sparked up because of your authenticity and alignment. The narcissists are in for a rude awakening. But not you. This feels very natural and a very genuine progression for you on a spiritual level. The moon card is here too. Okay, so the higher self is saying to you at times on your journey, and this month you may notice it, you are perhaps going to be unsure and you're going to have questions that are not going to be answered, and that's very normal when we kind of even, you know, we're seeing astral projection, we're kind of visiting other dimensions within ourselves, different planes. The quantum physicists call them dimensions, spiritual folk call them planes. It doesn't matter what label that is we're going to be using on that. It just speaks basically to beyond the veil and your sense of knowing and gnosis with the Gnosis. You just know, right? You know that there's something beyond, you know that there's something more. And the moon card says you're not going to have all the answers. They will come to you in due time. The answers always come from within. The Hermit knows this. But you're going to be getting those answers and downloads when they're meant to be for you, just like the abundance in the material world and your finances improved just when they were meant to for you, and that job opportunity came along, that promotion came along, that contract, that networking opportunity, that all came for you, Ace of Pentacles, when it was meant to. These answers for you will come when they're meant to. The Hanged Man says that too, you know, you will progress when you've kind of gotten the understanding that needs to be understood, and it's all going to happen in divine timing. The moon card is about divine timing. It's about timing the cycles of the moon. We're going to be having a full moon on the 3rd, actually. So I've done this before myself. On the 3rd of June, there's a full moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a very higher minded sign. It's very like enlightened just by its archetypal nature already. It's got references to the galactic the galactic degrees as such, and you know, it already kind of comes into this world in some way enlightened and just ready to tap into that energy again. So on the 3rd of June, open up to, you know, meditation and going within and asking those answers to come to you when you're ready to receive them, when you're in a good place to hear them. Trust that they will. The moon card asks for your trust and surrender on this journey ahead. In your environment, the 9 of Cups, love that. The 9 of Cups is contentment, bliss, happiness, and even more. So everyone around you is happy, apart from the narcissists. We know that they're never happy, but the 9 of Cups is speaking to, I mean, just wish fulfillment, basically. Abundance. This well is a source of life, so is the womb. You're just in a really thriving, fertile, and you know, just cozy and warm and loving space this month. And I think that's a good takeaway. The womb card, you are loved, and the environment card around you, this 9 of Cups, similar color scheme here. Of course, we've got the woman here in front of the well. We have that triangle on both cards, the top of the well and on the womb card. So that's, you know, mind, body, spirit, or you know, in some religious denominations, we'll be seeing like spirit, sun, and holy. Okay, I'm messing up on that there. What are we thinking? It's the Holy Trinity, rather. Okay, and so this is the combination when it is infused all together that enlightenment can happen. So calling all your power back this month is important, Taurus, because it's going to be a really big one for you. The people who you care about and love you right back and are happy to see you thriving. Now, you do have a fear, and I think it's linked to a particular relationship of yours at the moment. I will say, you know, that this may touch on that a little more in the relationship reading I'll link down below. But the 5 of Swords and the Lover's card in reverse. The 5 of Swords speaks to a fear for you around making a mistake, or you know, it says mistakes right here actually, but doing something that you will regret. So this hasn't necessarily happened yet. You haven't actually made this mistake, or you haven't acted in a regrettable way. You fear that you would do so for some reason. So this could mean like splitting up with someone in your life that you would feel like this would be a mistake. You could actually be beating yourself up right now for a mistake you've made in relation to a union in your life, be that a romantic interest or even a friend or somebody that's just really important to you, a child. You could be beating yourself up a little about that. So let's see, to sum it up a little further, this is your rebirth. The Renaissance speaks to that, and the womb speaks to your origin stories of what's next for you. The Hermit is going to be guiding you. There is a light guiding you. Even that's the moon, right, in the moon card. Even though we don't have all the answers this month, there is this inner knowing and inner trust that's going to carry you all the way through June. Jupiter transiting the sign of Taurus for the next year started in mid-May. It's just, you know, the only way is up for the sign of Taurus right now, and I couldn't be more excited for you. Consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already. I would really appreciate that, and have an amazing month. Happy belated birthday to all the Tauruses watching. Bye.